Female operative of the Baloch Liberation Army in a statement has said that the suicide bomber targeted Chinese nationals in the attack at the Karachi University. Dramatic visuals that we've accessed here at CNN News 18. Have a look at these visuals, and clearly the Baloch Liberation Army taking responsibility for the attack at Karachi University that resulted in the death of 2 Chinese nationals. Dramatic CCTV footage. We'll stay on those visuals. This is the person, and the statement that has been released is a female operative of the Baloch Liberation Army conducted this Fidain attack and targeted the Chinese nationals in the attack at the Karachi University. There you go. As the vehicle is turning in, it looks like that this female was waiting for them to come. As they turn in, as they are coming in, has she set herself off? That's the question. Dramatic footage that CNN News 18 has accessed. CCTV footage of the Karachi blast, where it's a Fidain attack that's been caught on a camera, and it's a lady, a female operative of the Baloch Liberation Army. That's the statement that's now come in from the BLA, where they've said that this Fidain, or the suicide bomber, targeted the Chinese nationals in the attack at the Karachi University. Tejinder Sodhi joins us with more details. Yes, Tejinder, dramatic footage. It looks like it was time. She was waiting, and she knew their movement, and she knew the vehicle.
Indeed, Anand, you see the Baloch people, they have become a victim of the imperialism of the Chinese. You see, Chinese are looting their resources on behest of Pakistan. Pakistan has given lease to of several projects to China, and China has been minting money. And the Baloch people, they are struggling for their freedom. This is the ground reality. Hundreds and thousands of Balochs have disappeared by the Pakistan army, and now you see the CCTV footage which CNN News 18 is showing clearly shows that the Balochs are fed up with this imperialism of China, and they have started targeting the Chinese. In this suicide attack, we can see that a woman suicide bomber from the Baloch Liberation Army, she carried out this attack on the Chinese nationals, in which 3 Chinese nationals have been killed. This shows, this says that this attack was carrying the staff from the Confucius Institute affiliated with the Karachi University. So the Baloch Liberation Army in the past has also carried out several such attacks on the Pakistan Army. Several Pakistan Army personnel, including several officers, have been so far killed by the Baloch Liberation Army, and this is one such attack which they have targeted the Chinese nationals. 3 Chinese have been killed. If you remember, just a couple of months ago, right, 2 Chinese were also killed. Yes, yes, Anand.
Well, it is dramatic, these visuals that have happened, Tejinder Sodhi, but the fact is that the BLA has come out and taken responsibility, and clearly they have deliberately targeted Chinese nationals on Pak soil because of the growing Chinese influence and the Chinese hand in the kind of atrocities that have been perpetrated on Baloch people. Is that the justification they are giving, that it is the Chinese, the PLA, who are actually strengthening and emboldening the Pakistani establishment, the military, over continuing to perpetrate the kind of atrocities they have perpetrated in Balochistan?
Indeed, Anand, you see the BLA and the Baloch nationals, they have already been saying that Balochistan was an independent nation which was forcefully annexed by Pakistan, and the people, they have a different language, they have a different culture, but their resources, they have no right on their resources. Ever since they being occupied by Pakistan, atrocities are being committed. Pakistan has given their ports to Chinese. Chinese are managing the ports. So all their resources, be their mines, everything is being exploited by the Chinese side, and the money which the Chinese is giving to the Pakistan army is further fueling the atrocities on the Baloch people. The Baloch people, they have been demanding freedom, they have been struggling, and now they have, as you rightly pointed out, that they have started attacking the Chinese interests in Pakistan, because they know that the money which China has been pumping to Pakistan army is in turn being used to commit atrocities on the Baloch nationals who have been demanding independence from Pakistan. Yes, Anand.
Well, we're getting information that there could be more people who could have succumbed or died in this Fidain strike, and more than 2 Chinese nationals. Tejinder Sodhi, stay with us. We'll try and get more details. Pathikrit Pine also with us. Pathikrit, the Chinese will not take kindly to this. they will not be very happy that in a city like Karachi, their nationals are being openly targeted. It's going to worry them because in this region in Sindh, there has anyway been a lot of dissonance over the Bandal and Bundu Islands being handed over to the Chinese by Imran Khan.
Yes, Anand, what has happened in the last 2 years, there has been a lot of consolidation among the Baloch insurgent groups, and they have now realized that the biggest weak point and where if they hit, Pakistan will be hit the most, they are the Chinese assets and the Chinese nationals. So every time a Chinese is hit or Chinese is killed, Pakistan is really, put on the back foot. So already the relation between Pakistan and China have been on the back foot for several reasons because of CPC. Now these kind of terror attacks, insurgent attacks, are going to be a major double whammy for the new Prime Minister, and it only shows that
Now,
not only
Patikrit, we are getting
Taliban,
information that it is 4 Chinese nationals. 4 Chinese nationals are dead. 4 Chinese nationals are dead in this Fidain strike.
and interestingly now the Baloch are going for
3
Fidai
or
attacks. That's
4
a very
unconfirmed reports saying it is more than 2. More than 2, at least 3. 3 Chinese nationals are dead. Some reports saying there are 4, some reports saying there are 3. But this is targeted. They knew they are coming in this van. And she's standing there in these visuals, dramatic, Pathikrit. And she blows herself up. So the Fidain strikes are back. And in this case, it's the BLA that is taking responsibility for conducting these.
Yes, and that is a this is a very interesting development because the Fidai attacks were never done by the Baloch groups in the earlier stages. It's now they are actually emulating the Fidai culture. And interestingly, what happened in the past, Anand, what used to happen, Pakistan used to use the Taliban to actually persecute and go for hunting down the Baloch insurgent groups. But now the Taliban and Pakistan relation has gone down so badly that Taliban is not helping. So I think there's the possibility that the Talibanis and some Afghan groups are also helping the Baluchis. If you remember what happened a few days back, there was a airstrike by the Pakistanis into deep inside Afghanistan. So the situation over there becoming very, very complicated, and it's only going to have much more, terrible impact in terms of financial condition of Pakistan as well.
Well, we will be putting it up on the screen. The Baloch Liberation Army or the Baloch rebels have actually put out the picture of the Fidain, of the female suicide bomber. We'll try and put it out here on CNN News 18. These pictures have just come in. The news desk opening it up here. This is the Fidain. This is the person who's the Baloch Liberation Army operative who has blown herself up, and this is the BLA claiming that this is the person. So it is her who's standing there in that right at the corner there, burqa clad, standing there and waiting. And as that van is turning in, you'd see it in the visuals, and she blows herself up, and it's a huge explosion, and at least 3 people are dead. 4 people are dead, including 3 Chinese nationals. Yes, Pathikrit. So the BLA openly saying that we did it. That itself shows that there is a certain level of resistance brewing, and they are quite emboldened now. And this region in Sindh, there is no love lost for the Chinese because the Sindhis are very, very upset. There were huge rallies that were taken out protesting the decision to hand over 2 small islands off the coast of Karachi to the Chinese.
Yes, interestingly, Anand, what has happened, there are certain, now the attacks are being done by Baloch insurgent groups beyond Balochistan. That's an interesting development. And now you also have certain insurgent groups which have developed in Sindh. They're collaborating with Baloch liberation, Baloch-based insurgent groups, and there has been major consolidation among the Baloch insurgent groups. They were, scattered earlier. So the consolidated version of Baloch insurgent groups in collaboration with certain Sindh-based insurgent groups are emulating the Fidaya culture, which has been, actually taught by the deep state of Pakistan to the Lashkar-e-Toibas and Jaish-e-Mohammed to actually hit back Pakistan where it hurts the most. And in fact, CPEC invariably is becoming a major nightmare for China. Not only they are not being able to recover the cost, not only it is becoming economically unviable, but the more these kind of terror attacks happen, the more it will be difficult for China to operate. And for Pakistan, they have the level of armed forces, they have already committed to the security of the CPC corridor. Even then, these insurgent attacks actually show the level of disgruntlement people have, because they believe they are not getting anything out of these PPC, investments. Everything goes back to China and Punjab or Pakistan. Everybody else is getting nothing out of it. So I think these attacks are only going to increase.
BLA's operations would be largely inside the Balochistan area or somewhere towards certain portions of Punjab, but never have they operated and brazenly conducted these kind of strikes, and that too on foreign nationals, on Chinese nationals, targeted attack, and the BLA claiming responsibility and also putting out the picture of the Fidaiin operative who stood there and blew herself up as these Chinese nationals were entering in. At least three Chinese nationals dead, along with, of course, the BLA operative, the Baloch Liberation Army, the Baloch rebels claiming responsibility for the same. Pathikrit Pain, Tejinder Sodi, thank you for your input.